Thanks for joining us. Edition of our special program for our KBSCs in their various palaces. We call it the Royalty. The Royalty is a program we visit our KBSCs in their various domains to actually share part of their daily experiences as the head of culture and tradition in their various communities. We also share part of the challenges and the other good side of being a monarch in Yoruba culture, as it were, and of course in their special communities. And on this edition of the program, we are in the palace of the ELERINJA of ERINJA, of Kabesi Alailu Oba Ebenezer Olufemi Alani Egunjobi, is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Accountants, and is going to be our guest on the program. Let me also use this opportunity to say Happy New Year to Kabesi on this program. Kabesi, Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year to you and your family, and you are welcome to ERINJA Kingdom.
Yes, we are in the palace of Kabesi ELERINJA, and it is our pleasure. I also bring you warm greetings from our general manager, management, and entire staff of Ogun State Television, Abeokuta. It is our pleasure to be with you here at KBC. I hope we meet you very well, sir.
Yes, you are welcome. You meet me very well with my chiefs around.
All right.
You are welcome.
Okay. KBC, in the next couple of minutes, I will be asking you questions relating to your personal, your community. So far, you have spent 7 years also on the throne. We'll be sharing part of this your experience on the throne as the ELERINJA. First, I could see from your profile that you are a chartered accountant. And let me start this discussion from that platform. At what point did you choose to toe the line of being an accountant?
Initially, I want to say that I have a very poor background because I lost my father when I was about 1.5 years old. So I didn't have the opportunity of attending a grammar school or a higher school. The highest formal education I had at that time was a secondary modern school. So I sojourned with my uncle, who is now late, Mr. Amore. And when I was there, I want to tell you that I started as a typist. I was working in an industry at Ikeja as a laborer. On my way home, I branched at an institute to learn typing and shorthand. So I was able to pass typing and shorthand exams over a short period of time. And I was working as a typist secretary. But anytime I see advertisement for a confidential secretary, they will put it there. You must have credit in 5 subjects, including English. So I decided on my own to study at home for my GCE. That was in 1974. And I attended evening classes for less than a year. And part of the subject I offered was accounting. So when I wanted to write the exam, there's a friend of mine who had been doing accounting for a long time. He told me that I should not offer accounting because it's difficult to pass. I said I will offer accounting. So in the examination hall, that was in 1974 November exam. The first question there was, 30 marks, and it was compulsory. When I read it, I didn't even know how to tackle it. So what I did was to go through other questions. I came back to it. The inspiration just came, I don't know from where. At that level of accounting, we call something incomplete records or single entry. Nobody taught me. I learned it in the examination hall. So there was no sales, there's no purchases, and they asked me to prepare profit and loss account and balance sheet. I said, how do I go about this one? Then I began to think, I said, okay, debtors is derived from credit sales. Creditors is derived from the credit purchases. So I said, okay, for me to be able to get my credit sales, then I will use opening and closing debtors and the payment by debtors in the cash book. Ditto creditors for my purchases and so on. I just did it. By the end of the day, my balance sheet balanced. In those days, you feel happy and believe that you have got everything. So, in a nutshell, I got A in accounting. That was what informed me to do accounting. Initially, when I did my A-levels, my plan was to do sociology or philosophy or political science. But because I had A in accounting, that informed me to pursue accounting.
Where were you born? Were you born in ERINJA here or elsewhere? How was your primary school life? How was it? More so that you said you lost your father when you were 1 year plus. Let's have some information about your...
I was born here in ERINJA here in 1949. That was more than 72 years ago. And I did my primary school to here. That's African Church School, Ilobi ERINJA. African Church School, Ilobi ERINJA. From there, I proceeded to African Church Modern School, Iwoye. That was in 1964. And I finished in 1966. From there, I joined my uncle, who was based at Agege at that time. So I sojourned with him for a very long time. It was then that I was learning typing, shorthand, working laborers here and there. Then at the time, I worked at Chief Magistrate Court Ikeja as a peace typist.
Peace typist?
Peace typist. You want to know
yes.
What is the function of a peace typist? Yes. You see, as a peace typist, that time I had not qualified. I have not really passed RSC exams.
Okay.
So in government, I don't know what happens there now. Then, in government, even if you have pitmans, whatever level, they won't give you permanent job. You won't, we call them graded. You won't be graded as a permanent typist. So I had not passed RSC, but I had passed pitman's exams. So peace typist is that you are not on a monthly pay of government. But what we do is we type the proceedings, court proceedings,
okay.
Then court judgments for people that needed it. So when they come to collect, it's from there that they work out what is entitled to you, and they pay you from there. It's not that you are on irregular pay,
okay.
But you type judgment proceedings of court to people that needed it, and it's only then that they give you money. They work it out, and you go to Treasury and collect your money. That is the work of a peace typist as at that time.
At that time, how was life in the community? Did Cabes also play some of the childhood pranks?
Oh my God. Life was lovely here then. This is a community that we are all one.
Okay.
That this festive period now, I can enter any house and eat there. And at that time, what we do most is that we play felele ball. I don't know if you We call it felele at that time. So we have a playing ground. We play felele. In the night, we do popo. During the moonlight period, we do popo from 8 to 3 a.m. That's the truth. That's the truth. Because
from 8 p.m. to 8
p.m. Especially during the holidays. Because some of our peers will come from Lagos, from Abeokuta, from other places that they are schooling. And together we'll be playing popo till 3 a.m. sometimes. That was life at that time. So I want to tell you, though it's bigger, the place is bigger now, I want to say that it was even more thickly populated because many of us were at home. And because of this rural-urban shift, it's had depopulated the community, so to speak.
So many people have gone to the cities.
And it's happening to so many ancient communities now.
Kabis, I also noticed that coming into ERINJA, I saw a river along the road here. I want to believe that even during your growing up, that river must have played some roles in your childhood ranks. Do you find yourself escaping to the river with your friends?
Yeah, not that river precisely.
Okay.
But there's a river that we play, we swim, and do so many things. That is, we call it Ikwetu River. It's not along that road you took to this place. But I think I will take your crew there. I want you to visit the place because the river has served and still serving so many purposes for us here, for ERINJA people. And it's a river that we cherish so much. If we had come, some people had gone there today. They came from Abeokuta and Lagos. They had gone there to swim today. And they came here to visit me.
Okay.
So that is the river that we were swimming and we were playing a lot of things there.
Okay. I want to believe that every Yoruba town and name has a meaning, has some history behind it. What is the history behind ERINJA, and how come that name, ERINJA?
ERINJA is founded by ERINJA, who migrated from Ife to this place. And he came with his wife and 2 of his children, and also some of his people. There were many. So among the people that came was Ifemo, Idude, Ikwetumera, and so on. But those people, when they came, they get their farmland around here, and they named those farmlands in their own name. So we have Ifemo, which is a settlement. We have Ikwetumara, which is a settlement. We have Ijisu, which is a settlement, and so on. It was these communities that came together with ERINJA here that formed what we call ERINJA Kingdom.
Okay.
Now, the name is derived from the founder, ERINJA. So it's from ERINJA to ERINJA. So the name ERINJA is named after the founder, who is ERINJA.
Usually a king does not solely rule over his kingdom.
Yes.
There will always be chiefs, there will always be various groups. In some places you will find the Ogbonis and the rest of it. How is the traditional lineup of ERINJA?
Well, there are so many groups, Ogbonis, the Ifa worshippers, the Uru worshippers, and so on. The practice then is still the same thing now. The king is the head of all these Ogbonis, Urus, and so on. So whatever they want to do, they will take permission from the king.
Apart from the Council of Chiefs, I'm also asking some other groups, like the one you talked about, Ogboni is a group. Maybe we also have some other groups that might even be of the normal Orthodox religion and all of that, that are part of your administration.
Okay. Well, we have chiefs, and I want to mention some of the titles.
Okay.
We have Balogun, who is one of kingmakers. We have Akogun, also a kingmaker. We have Osolo, also a kingmaker. We have Basharon, also a kingmaker. All these one are title chiefs that we have here. Then we have Iyalode, we have Iyaloja seated here. We have Ajagunas seated here. We have Bobatulu, who is also the palace secretary, is with us here. We have Bale Jeshatedu here. We have Bale Okerinja here. We have Akwewije here. We have Olori Odo here. And also we have Akinlu.
By virtue of being a chartered accountant means you must have been outside this community for some time. Maybe you come back occasionally for this and all of that. But let me start this aspect of this interactive session by asking you, how did you receive the information of your nomination as the next ELERINJA? Or were you already expecting that when the last ELERINJA joined his forefathers, it's certain that it's you? Did it come to you?
I won't say I was expecting it.
Okay.
I know I am a prince from here. And I know it was the turn of my house, my ruling house. It was the turn of my ruling house to produce the next king. But and I never thought that I would be the one that they would nominate. But I want to say that, okay, our father just came to me. I was working in the factory at Ogtv that day, and said, Alani, it's the turn of our house to produce the next king, and we have nominated. I said, why? Why me? Well, I said, no, it is the choice of the family. Well, I believe, and I took it as a call to serve. So, and that was the way it happened. But it was not that it was not that easy, because before the process was completed, the man died. The man who nominated me and believed that I was to be the king died. And you know, naturally, to be a king is a good thing, and so many people too will be interested.
Yes.
So one of our brothers too came up and said he wanted to be the king. So we started the process, meeting here and there, and at the end of the day, our names were sent to the king makers, and I was unanimously selected to be the king.
At the time of your nomination, were you still in active service?
No, I had, okay, you know, the process took about 4 years or thereabout. So I had retired. I retired 2 years before the final process.
Okay.
I retired 2 years before the final process.
All right. From somebody who has been a chartered accountant, working in a corporate environment, or possibly in his private practice, now being nominated to come and be the king in his community, which will possibly require that most of the time you have to attend to community issues, staying back in the palace and all of that. How did you manage the transition from somebody who is always very busy looking at papers, maybe auditing this and all of that, to becoming a royal father?
Well, I think in life, the most important thing is adjustment.
Okay.
It's adjustment because nothing is static. Well, and by training, one should be able to adjust to whatever situation he finds himself. It was not that easy. As somebody who has been in the office for years and controlling people and so on, and is not used to a kind of sedentary, because this work of Oba, you need to be here, if possible, 100% of your time to attend to community issues. But, well, it was tough initially, but I want to say that over a short period of time, I was able to adjust to the new environment that I found myself.
So far, are there things that you missed when you became the king? Possibly some of those things that you were doing while you were in your private practice? Like some people would say that, oh, when I became the Oba here, I couldn't go to this that I used to go and all of that. What are those areas of your personal life that you miss when you become the king?
As a king, you are supposed to live a kind of controlled life.
Yes.
You need to live it because you are not supposed to be seen in some place. Like before I became king, I was going to club. I was clubbing. But today, I cannot go to. Since immediately I became, even since I had been nominated, I could not go to club again.
And how did you adjust to not socializing at that level, particularly with your friends? Because I know you'll be going to club with your friends.
Yeah, because instead of going to them now, they come to me.
Okay.
So most of them that want to see me and that we want to talk, they will come to me. They will come to me, but I can still visit them in their private houses. Okay. They're not going to club again, or not going to social gatherings, which is not for royal fathers. No, I don't attend, but I was used to it before. To that extent, my life has been controlled. My life.
So somehow, you miss that aspect of you.
I miss that aspect of the kind of freedom I had before I became king was no more there.
Okay.
There was no more there. It's not that there is a law that is saying you should not do it, but royalty demands that you should not do it.
Okay, so before your coronation, you can be described possibly as someone who is a socialite, or
not
just
quite, not quite, an average. I have a very simple life, and I'm a very simple person. Not that I was a socialite, going here and there, and but I have my friends that we meet together. So I was not really a big, a moderate socialite. So to put it that way, a moderate socialite.
That seems to be the general, the general attribute of accountants. Is it as a result of your training? Because most accountants will always tell you, no, I don't know.
The thing with accountants is that when you are always very busy. Okay. You are always very busy. Most especially those in private practice, very busy because you need to attend to your clients' issues, and all these issues are time bar. You don't want to. At their time bar, you need to file audit returns. You need to do this, and you want to make sure you satisfy your clients. So you have a lot to attend to. So that's why they are not the kind of going to
not too much time for
socialization.
All right. Yes, I missed something in your earlier submissions.
Okay.
You said that when you were 1 year plus, you lost your dad.
Yes.
What about your mom? We didn't talk about your mom.
To God be the glory.
Yes.
My mom played a very important role in my life. And he lived and died at the age of 78. That was in 2007. And that made it possible for me to have my siblings. My immediate junior brother from my mother is a pastor, is a PhD holder, and is also a fellow chartered accountant. That's the one that follows me immediately.
Okay.
And the next one to him is a mathematician in uniform. So when I say mathematician in uniform, as of today, is a commissioner of police.
Okay.
Kayode Egbetokun is a commissioner of police.
Okay.
And the one that followed him was a chartered engineer. But unfortunately, we lost him to armed robbers
Too bad.
in 2008. So, and our last our last and the only female is a businesswoman. So my mother lived to the age of 78 and died in 2007. And thank God, God bless him with
Good children.
good children.
She must have been a businesswoman also, because this accounting, mathematics,
I think mathematics is in the family.
That's why I said maybe.
If my mother had, if she had had the opportunity, like somebody told me, one of our fathers one day told me that if your mother had had the opportunity of having good education, he would have been a professor of mathematics. I just want to add this. My first daughter also did mathematics and in his first degree, and information tech in her second degree. So mathematics is in the family.
Right. That's a great one.
Thank you very much.
That's a great one. Now, Kabisi, ERINJA is an old historical town.
Yes.
Can you let us into some of the uniqueness of ERINJA in terms of culture and tradition? What are those things that they do here in ERINJA that is age-long with ERINJA as a community?
We have, like every other communities, we have our festivals, like we have Oro Festival, we have this one, I don't know how to put it.
You can put it in
anyhow.
any
Okay. We have here, if there are some people that could I say misbehaving or that are dangerous, they come with some dangerous things that we know it will affect the community. We have we have what you call Oshaoba.
Okay.
Oshaoba, which is we call it. Some people will call it Ijuru. So those people, those Osha people, the Osha, the people, the Osha, because we don't know them.
Okay.
Me too, I don't know them. The Osha will come and warn that person that thing he wants to do, he should not do it here. If that person did not heed the advice, he will see the consequence almost immediately.
More like a traditional internal security mechanism.
Well, it could be internal security. How do I put it? Well, let's say we Akoya, full.
Okay.
Akoya, no, tí ó fẹ́ kí that does not take nonsense for anybody, and it's still happening till today. And anytime they want to come out, when they give the sign, everybody should put up his light. You should not put on your light. If you do, you are disobeying their rules. So everybody knows, and they will adhere to it. So that is one. I told you about, we have Oro people, and we have, look at your left, that is Igbe. There's that Calabar, Igbe. Igbe. So we have, occasionally when we have, when the king has something to do, the Igbe people will come and
singing
and dancing. And especially when the king wants to dance to the Bedu beat, they will come singing and dancing. These are part of the things that we do.
All right. It's still the royalty, and we are in the palace of Kabesi, the ELERINJA of ERINJA Kingdom, Alailuwa Oba Ebenezer Olufemi Alani Egunjobi, FCA. We shall be taking a short break. By the time we're coming back, we will also speak with some of the chiefs in the ERINJA community. We'll also visit some of places of historical importance to this community. And of course, we shall be asking Kabesi more questions about his experiences on the throne. So don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
For community development as a prime mover for community development projects and community development works, we liaise with KBSC most of the time to see how we can move the community forward in terms of road, in terms of mobilizing youths. We work in conjunction with the youth, these things. We work in conjunction equally with the market women and all other people. So that we work together at the end of the day to see that we build on whatever we have and last with KBSC so that we can work together, and we are getting results. In the last 9 years, if you have come to ERINJA earlier, sometimes before the Christmas, you will see our bad road. That is ERINJA road. KBSC is here. Jointly, ELERINJA and Olobi jointly made arrangements to do the rehabilitation of the road from ERINJA to ERINJA. Equally, this year, KBSC has influenced an NGO to come forward to train people on hardware, that is empowerment things like crafts and whatever, and some other things like that. So KBSC has been a very good source of inspiration to the community, to all of us. If you look at our maternity there, it's been KBSC. You see, the maternity is not working at all. But he has to put his money down. He gave us slates, nails, and they work with carpenter to repair the building. And so we now use this medium to appeal to whoever is concerned that they can still come to us and they help a local community like us.
Iṣẹ́ tí ọ̀gá ìlú ṣe òun ni pé láti bá ọba ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ àti láti mú ààfin dúró ní gbogbo ìlú. Ohunkóhun tí ó bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú, ọ̀gá ìlú láti mójútó. Tí ọ̀gá ìlú kábíyèsí ó bá dẹ̀ sí nílé, ọ̀gá ìlú láti ṣe gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó dára dé kábíyèsí kí wọ́n tó dé, ṣé ìlú lè máa dàgbà sí. kábíyèsí jẹ́ èèyàn tó dára, wọ́n sì jẹ́ ẹni tó kó ẹni mọ́ra. Ṣùgbọ́n kábíyèsí wọ́n bá èmi náà lórí àpèrè ni. A gbà wọ́n lálejò. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n gbà wọ́n lálejò láti ọwọ́ Ọlálẹ́yẹ. Kábíyèsí Arẹ́bíjoyè Ọlálẹ́yẹ ni mo ti joyè. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí wọ́n dé, a gbà wọ́n lọ́wọ́, a gbà wọ́n lẹ́sẹ̀. Kábíyèsí fi gbogbo ara ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú, wọ́n sì kó gbogbo amọ́ra. Wọn ò sọ wípé bóyá wọ́n ta ẹnìkan kan nù. Àwa pàápàá dẹ̀ dúró tì wọ́n láti bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́. A sì ń gbàdúrà fún wọn pé iṣẹ́ náà kó máa tẹ̀síwájú. Lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n dé, ìlú yìí ó ti dàgbà ju bá a ṣe ń fẹ́ lọ. Ó dẹ̀ sì ń tẹ̀síwájú. Gbogbo ojúṣe wọn nínú ìlú, kò sí ọmọdé tàbí àgbà tàbí ọkùnrin àti obìnrin kan tó kórìíra wọn. Nítorí kábíyèsí wa jẹ́ aláàánú. Nígbà ògbàkigbà tí ẹnikẹ́ni bá bá ẹkún lọ́dọ̀ wọn, ó máa rẹ́rìn jáde. Inú á dẹ̀ dùn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ jẹ́ ẹni tí kò kanra, tó jẹ́ onísùúrù, oníwà pẹ̀lẹ́, tí kò sì fi dúdú pé funfun fẹ́ni kankan. A dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run pé gbogbo ọmọ ìlú náà, orúkọ wọn tí wọ́n ń jẹ́ ní táìtù wọn Olufemi lóyè. Olufemi lóyè náà ni wọ́n ń jẹ́, gbogbo ìlú fẹ́ràn wọn láìsí àlébù kan lára wọn. A dẹ̀ ń gbàdúrà fún wọn wípé kí wọ́n lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé, kórí tẹ̀ má gbóná mọ́ wọn, kí wọ́n ṣàṣeyè àtàwọn ọmọ wọn. Àwọn aráàlú pàápàá tí a sì ń gbárùkù tì wọ́n ká má jábọ́ lẹ́yìn wọn. Gbogbo àwọn olóyè pátá tí wọ́n fi jẹ, tá a jọ wà, tá a sì ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀, kò sí ìyapa, kò sí ọ̀tẹ̀, kò sí aburú kankan, à ń tẹ̀lé wọn lẹ́yìn, a sì ń gbàdúrà fún wọn lójú.
Àtìgbà tó sì ti fi mí joyè yìí, inú mi ń dùn, ara mi ń yá, ìlú dẹ̀ ń tòrò. Nígbà tí bàbá wa yìí ti jẹ oyè, ìlú yìí dùn gan, a dẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run. Ewúrẹ́ ń bí ewúrẹ́, àgùntàn ń bá àgùntàn, èèyàn ń bí èèyàn, ọlá ń bí ọlá, iyì ń bí iyì. Gbogbo bí jẹ́gbó ti ń dìlú, inú wa ń dùn lé lórí. Pẹ̀lú ògo ayọ̀ wọn ò ní dòbu.
Èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ọ̀dọ́ ti ìlú Ẹ̀rìnjà, àwọn àtúnṣe pọ̀ nínú ìlú tí a máa ń ṣe tí a dẹ̀ fi ràn kábíyèsí lọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ ìlú. Tí a bá ní iṣẹ́ ní ojú ọ̀nà tàbí pé ọ̀nà ò dáa, à kó àwọn ọ̀dọ́ jọ láti lọ ṣe àtúnṣe ibẹ̀. Kábíyèsí wa jẹ́ aláàánú èèyàn púpọ̀ tí wọ́n fẹ́ràn gbogbo ọ̀dọ́ lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin àti àgbà àti arúgbó ìlú ní kábíyèsí wa fẹ́ràn. Àwa náà dẹ̀ ń gbà ní àdúrà fún wọn pé Ọlọ́run Ọba Elédùmarè a máa gbé wọn sókè. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ìlú Ẹ̀rìnjà a máa lọ síwájú ni. Lọ́tẹ̀ tí kábíyèsí wa dẹ̀ ti wà lérí àpèrè bàbá ńlá wọn fún oyè kábíyèsí, ìlú Ẹ̀rìnjà ìyàtọ̀ wà ń bẹ̀. Gbogbo bíi tí ó jẹ́ bí igbó, ìlú tí ń débẹ̀. Àwa ọ̀dọ́ náà a dẹ̀ kúrò lẹ́yìn wọn, à ń tì wọ́n lẹ́yìn, à tì wọ́n lójú. K'Olúwa Olódùmarè kó túbọ̀ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ sí.
Àwọn kábíyèsí wa wọ́n dáa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, wọ́n dẹ̀ kó èèyàn mọ́ra. Ní ìlú bá ṣe wà tá a jẹ́ ìyálóde náà, wọn ò fojú kéré wa pé bóyá a jẹ́ ọmọ kékeré. Tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ ti rí ọ̀rọ̀ kan, wọ́n ní láti pè wá láti ìyálóde, ìyálọ́jà, gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn a gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí palace láti ṣe àtúnṣe. Àdúrà mi sí kábíyèsí ni pé kí wọ́n pẹ́ lórí ìtẹ́ bàbá wọn.
Welcome back. It's still the royalty, and we are still in the palace of the ELERINJA of ERINJA Kingdom. Kábíyèsí Aláyélúwà Ọba Ebenezer Olufemi Alani Egunjobi, who is also a chartered accountant. Kábíyèsí, we thank you so far for your responses. And in this second half of this interactive session, I'll be asking you about your experiences 9 years on the throne. That means by next year it will be a decade. Exactly. By God's grace, we shall all be here to celebrate with you, Kábíyèsí.
Amen.
Kábíyèsí, now tell us, since you have assumed the position of Alailua in ERINJA. How has it been like? What has been your experiences? Are you also enjoying cooperation from your chiefs?
Enjoying absolute cooperation from my chiefs and from my people, because my Inagije, how do they put that in English? Is Olufemi. It's the people, it's my people that wanted me. Okay. And I've been enjoying their absolute cooperation. And for the past 9 years, this place, ERINJA, has been very, very peaceful. No problem at all. One thing I did when I got onto the throne was to establish some committees for the development of ERINJA. We have a committee for almost everything, for education, for security, for infrastructure, for electricity, and so on. And before I came on board, we have a school here, the ERINJA High School. But unfortunately, the administration of DIA, as the governor of the state, rationalized that school. It was not in existence, and the whole place was bushy. And my priority was our people were going to Wude and so on to school. I saw the danger for these small people going to Wude to school and so on. So the first priority was to make sure that how do we resuscitate the school. So I call on the education committee to liaise with Ilobi people, because school is for both communities. We call it Ilobi ERINJA High School. And we put the plan on ground and we started working on it. And by 2013, I came on board 2012. By 2013, the school has started. We thank God today, the school is now a government school. Initially, we were running it. The communities were running it, but it's a government school. It's part of the achievements that we have made on the throne. ERINJA, like we said, was smaller than this. In the past 9 years, there have been a lot of expansion and development within the ERINJA community. That's also a good thing. Now we have, because we know we need to get people. It's not only ERINJA people that can do everything. We need to get our friends from far and near. So what we do is we have this ERINJA community program, ERINJA Day, annual ERINJA Day program, where we invited our friends from far and near, and they have been coming to contribute to our development.
Now, let me ask you this question by the line, and that has to do with some of the responsibilities that the KBCs do undertake in their various communities. For instance, you said when you came, your priority was to resuscitate the rationalized secondary school, which you have done, and it has become a government owned school now. If you look at this, coupled with other ones you said, like you have security committee, and possibly you have committee on health and the rest of it, are KBCs actually given enough to do in terms of what they can contribute even to the governance of the state and country? Will you subscribe to the idea where KBCs are given responsibilities officially?
Yes, I think I will subscribe to that, because the KBCs are the grassroots people. They are the first set of people that have contacts with the grassroots. So I will subscribe to a team that will give the KBCs more responsibilities, and they are giving the resources Because when you give responsibility, you must give resources to cope with those responsibilities. So I will subscribe to that.
Okay, so in other words, it's the Kabiesi's capacity and capability to assist in good governance is being shortchanged by not giving them constitutional rules presently in Nigeria.
I want to agree with you.
Okay, all right. Let's now look at some other things surrounding ERINJA community. Here we have a peaceful community and all of that. Do you also experience some of these challenges that some of the bigger towns do face nowadays, particularly amongst our young ones, the youths and some of these social vices that we now have around? Do you also have to cope with that here, or how have you been coping in ensuring you have good citizens in your kingdom?
Like I said I've had the support of my people.
Yes.
Almost absolutely. And definitely we have a youthful exuberant. There are few people that may want to behave among our youth, but we have a way of checkmating them. We have
Go ahead.
We have a way of checkmating them. So no serious issue of things like that here. No serious one.
Okay. All right. Now, will you tell us the name of your ruling house and the other ruling houses we have in ERINJA? How many do you have in ERINJA?
Okay. We have 3.
3, okay.
Yes. My own ruling house is Akin Ogun ruling house.
Okay.
We have Omoni ruling house. And we have Aina ruling house.
Oh, okay.
Those are the 3 ruling houses.
Were those team that founded ERINJA at any time maybe stopped along the line when they were coming from Ife, or they were just...
Yes, when they were coming from Ife, they stopped at Oyo, they branched at Oyo, and they went to Ketu, to get the blessing of Alaketu.
Okay.
They stopped there before they came to this final place.
All right. Okay. Before we round off this discussion, I don't know whether Kabis will just give us 1 or 2 lines of the Oriki of or I should leave that to...
No, don't worry, I can try, but if I didn't do it so well... if I didn't do it so well, I know this your thing, you can see I just... let me do my own. There's people here that can give you comprehensive Oriki.
Okay,
but I would say, let me start from where we always start. ELERINJA Asha, Ọmọ Achigbayola, Ọmọ Afàtàrí sọ̀rọ̀, Ọmọ Àlùfún Ọsíkò ọ̀tẹ̀, Ọmọ Onígbẹ̀dù òwe, Ọmọ ọlọ́kọ̀ ìyíkọ̀gbèrè, ìyóbìnrin dílé ẹkún, ó ní kí ni ó fi gbọ́kọ̀ mi, ọmọ ẹni abíire.
Thank you, Kabis. Yes, the home front, how is Olori doing? Or how is it, how is, or how...
Well, how is, not our.
Oh, okay.
But then I want to say something there.
Yeah.
I lost my first Olori last year.
Sorry about
that. That was May 29. That's a picture.
Oh.
That's my first Olori who had my children for me.
Oh, okay.
So I have a new one now. We just started living together. But she's doing fine. She's doing well.
And the children too, they are all fine.
They are fine. Some of them are not here. Some of them are in Canada. Some of them are here. They are fine. They are all doing well.
Okay. So it's a new year, Kabis.
Yes.
And you are actually also opening this program in this new year. So we would request for your special blessings for this program and for our television station. That would also include your maybe a message to your subjects.
The message to my subjects that we have been enjoying cooperation, and I want that to continue in the new year. I plead with each and every of my subjects to make sure that there's a unity, understanding, and tolerance. There's no way we will not offend one another. What is important is to have the spirit of forgiveness. When we offend ourselves, we should learn to forgive. Nobody is perfect, and no situation is perfect in life. So far, I know we are peaceful people, we are lovely people, and we are friendly people. And I want that to continue in the new year. To our youth, some of them that are not seriously engaged now, they should find something to do. They should find something to do, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to be with them and will make them prosper in life. Life is not all bed of roses. I've said something about my early life. I didn't find it easy. In Yoruba we say, "A terror for the day." That is what I am. I will say it clearly. But I had to struggle because I had focus. So I want our young ones to have focus, and so that they too can become something in life. And I pray that God will help all of us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Blessings for us, Kabisi.
Well, for the program, the royalty. Sherry, the royalty. Ibi tí ẹ ti rò pé ẹ máa dé ẹ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Àmín Kábíyèsí.
Gbogbo àwọn tó wà nídìí prógrámù yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń lọ torí pé máa gbọ́kọ̀ kiri lọ́bọ̀ lọ́sàn-án lóru lálẹ́ lọ́gànjọ́ mo gbàdúrà lórúkọ Jésù ẹ ní jáàmù.
Àmín Kábíyèsí.
Ẹ ò ní rí wàhálà.
Àmín Kábíyèsí.
Ẹ ní rí dààmú.
Àmín Kábíyèsí.
Àwọn ajínigbé ò ní gbé yín o.
Àmín Kábíyèsí.
Iléeṣẹ́ náà á tún wá gòkè sí.
Àṣẹ.
Bá a ṣe ń gbọ́rọ̀ yín ní Nàìjíríà tá à ń gbọ́rọ̀ yín ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa gbọ́rọ̀ yín nílùú Amẹ́ríkà.
Àṣẹ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa gbọ́rọ̀ yín ní Canada.
Àṣẹ.
Gbogbo ẹni tọ́lọ̀ ń wá fi síbẹ̀ láti máa darí iṣẹ́ lákòókò yìí ilé yẹn á rójú.
Àṣẹ.
Ọ̀nà yẹn á gbàyè.
Àṣẹ.
Á dára fún yín.
Àṣẹ.
Gbogbo àmọ́ wọn á ṣoríire.
Àṣẹ Kábíyèsí.
Ó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn.
Àṣẹ.
Àṣẹ́gun o.
Àṣẹ.
Àwọn alálẹ̀ sì ti gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó.
It is on that prayerful note that we'll be drawing the curtain on the royalty for this week. But even before then, I have to specially thank Alailua for giving us the opportunity to be in the palace, for also creating your time to attend to us. We thank you so much. We have learned so many things about your person and your headship of this community. Amarimba Kabisi.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's the program on the royalty for this week. Next week we shall be at another palace where we shall also be sharing the experience of another Kabiyesi in their palace. If you have enjoyed today's edition, join us same time next week. And until then, I leave you in the hands of Almighty God. Bye-bye.